All right, hopefully another short video about how to write an equation from a chart. So if I went to Desmos and I plugged that chart into Desmos, I want to make an equation that hits all those dots, but I want it to do it with one equation, right? So we got 11, that's not 11, but whatever, I'll come back and fix it. And 20, and that's 11. All right, so now you see these dots showing up. I want to program Desmos with a line that hits all those points, right? So I need an equation. So my first instinct is, should I write it in point slope or should I write it in slope intercept? That's always what's going through my mind. Someone asks me to write an equation and I'm asking myself, which version is better? Is it slope intercept or is it point slope? I always start with this version. This is an easy equation to write. I just need to sub in the m with a number and the b with a number, and it's as straightforward as that. The problem is, sometimes I'm not given that information, and sometimes I have to work to figure these things out. So I'm going to start with slope-intercept form and think, can I write it in this way? So I look in the chart and I look for a b, and the b stands for the y-intercept. And you find the y-intercept in a chart when the input is 0. So in order for the b to be visible, the input has to be 0. I do not see any inputs of 0, and that's a problem. At least it's a problem for this format. If you look at a chart and you do not have an input of 0, you cannot write it in slope-intercept form because you have no b. No b means no y equals mx plus b. So you have to write this one in point slope. At least, you don't have to. You could work to find the b. You could try to throw in a 0 in this chart. You could be like, okay, well, there's a 2 and a 1 and a 0. I guess I'm going to go backwards. But that requires a lot of work, lots of steps, lots of work. It means lots of chances to make mistakes. So I'm not going to do something that requires extra work. So you can write it in slope-intercept form. It's just easier to do point slope. So point slope, to write it, we need a point and a slope. So once I've decided on the format, I have to figure out how to actually do that. So the point that I'm going to pick is 3, 11 because that's the one all kids pick because it's first. And then I need a slope, and I have to do the slope by finding the rate of change from each side. So find the change here, which I think is an up of 3. Find the change here, which is a growth of 2. So the slope, how quickly the equation is changing, is 3/2. So now I have a point. Now I have a slope. I just got to plug it into the equation. All equations always begin with y. In point slope, the y matches with the y. So again, that comes from the parentheses. Those are going to be the part of your point that matches with the x and the y. So since the y value is positive 11, I'm going to switch it to negative 11. Then the equal sign. So once my y has a match, I move to the equal sign. After the equal sign, we always have the slope. After the slope, we always put x. The question is, does it belong with a parenthesis or not? And that depends on the format. And since we have point slope, it does require a parenthesis and an x. And the x needs a buddy. So the x point that lives in the point is 3. So I'm going to switch it to negative 3. And that's it. Find the x, find the y, pair them with their letters. Y goes with y, the x goes with x in parentheses, and then the slope goes right in front. So the nice little equation is straight up. You can do any of the points on here that you like. It doesn't matter which one. I just picked 311 because it was first. And that's it. Hope that helps.